Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain an erotic thriller series called Dark Desire from 2020. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The episode opens with Alma being handcuffed and taken away in a police car as paramedics are putting away a dead body in the ambulance. The forensic team arrives and together with the police starts inspecting the crime scene, which is a bloody pool. The scene cuts to Alma swimming in the same pool 6 weeks earlier. Later, she is seen talking on the phone with Nancy about sending the study plan to the coordinator and reminding her to book the classroom for her seminar. While talking on the phone, she is seen packing her luggage. On the way out, she enters her daughter Zoe's room to say goodbye. But instead, she takes a moment to look at what Zoe is doing on the computer. Zoe, seeing her mother, greets her and tells her about Memento Mori. In a nutshell, post-mortem pictures which are from the Victorian era. Alma tells her that she doesn't understand why she enjoys seeing these. Zoe replies that they are cool and fascinating. Alma says to her that she doesn't like them and it's morbid. In response to that, Zoe reminds her mother that she should remember that Zoe is hoping to be a medical examiner in the future. But Alma counters her response that many femicides that are occurring are a result of admiration of violence and death. Hearing all this, Zoe gets a little annoyed and hurries her mom to leave and enjoy her break. Later in this scene, Alma's husband, Leonardo, can be seen talking on the phone with someone and telling them that Andres will pick them up. He also adds that Alma will come back Sunday afternoon, so they have a lot of time. He sees Alma coming towards him and cuts the call by adding that he will talk later. Alma faces him and asks about who he is making plans with. Leonardo asks Alma if she is leaving and adds that he was talking to Esteban. Alma still has her doubts, but Leonardo goes on to describe that he was talking about meeting Esteban this week. Alma half-heartedly accepts his reply and bids him farewell. The story continues, as Alma is seen driving to Morelos to her best friend Brenda's house. After reaching there, Brenda comes outside to greet Alma at her house and expresses her excitement to see Alma. After entering the house, Brenda offers Alma a drink as they are chatting in Brenda's shower. Alma tells Brenda her doubts about Leonardo cheating on her and getting intimate with someone else. In response to these, Brenda mockingly asks how Alma's incorruptible and impeccable judge husband is cheating. Brenda also adds who Alma thinks he is cheating with. Alma, in response, asks Brenda if she thinks he is capable of cheating. Brenda brushes off this question. Alma then continues that it's a woman from his workplace, specifically his executive assistant. Brenda asks about this woman if she is young and attractive, but she also adds that it doesn't matter because her husband Roberto left her for an older woman. Alma tells her that this woman is Edith, who is young and always knows how to stay kind and attractive. She also adds that Edith is indispensable to Leonardo. Brenda then jokingly asks why she still has doubts. Alma then asks Brenda about how she found out about Roberto's cheating. Brenda replied that she didn't know even though she had all the signs like changes in his routine and being overprotective of his devices, etc. Brenda then asks Alma if she thought Leonardo was being physically intimate with that woman. But Alma replies that she doesn't know, but as a woman she can sense these things. Brenda further inquiries about her and Leonardo's intimate life in bed. Hearing this, Alma remembers their intimate moments and becomes hesitant and says it's not like when they were young anymore because they have been married for 20 years now. Alma then tells Brenda to go back to her topic and state further details. Brenda adds that even though she had all the signs of her husband cheating, she didn't know until he came one day and told her that he didn't love her anymore and was in love with someone else. He also wanted a divorce from Brenda, making her feel like an idiot. Hearing this, Alma comforts Brenda. Brenda then tells Alma that she has a plan to go on a singles cruise with Alma for 7 days and 6 nights through the Caribbean. She expects Alma to find a soulmate on this cruise, or at least find someone to be intimate with and enjoy for some time. Brenda also tells Alma they leave on Monday. But Alma states that she doesn't need a soulmate, and her seminar also starts on Monday. Brenda pushes her that she needs a self-esteem boost and a man's care for herself to feel good again. But Alma denies that she can take care of herself perfectly, and instead proposes that they go together on a friend's trip without any men. In response to this, Brenda disappointedly says that they have been going on friends' trips since 15 years of age. After getting rejected for her cruise plan, Brenda instead proposes Alma to repay her by going to a nightclub with her that night to drink and meet with some men if occurs. Later that night, Alma and Brenda went to a nightclub to enjoy themselves. Arriving there, Brenda starts asking Alma how long has it been since she physically enjoyed herself with someone else. Without replying, Alma jokingly tells Brenda they were old for this kind of party. But Brenda doesn't mind this and continues enjoying herself and dancing with others to music. The scene changes to Leonardo talking to Zoe on the phone and telling her that he won't be having dinner at home and he doesn't explain himself either. He wishes to see her tomorrow and says goodbye. After ending the call with Zoe, Leonardo turns to Edith and says the management of their today's date is perfect. Edith becomes happy hearing this, and they enjoy some wine. The scene again cuts to Zoe meeting with her uncle in a bar. Uncle asks Zoe about herself and how she has been. Zoe also greets and hugs him and asks about his business. He looks at the club and tells Zoe that it is kind of dead. He also asks Zoe about why she is here, and Zoe replies that her parents ditched her again. She further states that her mom went to her friend Brenda's house, and that Brenda recently got divorced. Hearing this, Esteban asked why she got divorced, getting curious, because it is related to his profession as he is a PI. Zoe then replies that she thinks Brenda got cheated on. He also asks about Zoe's dad and if he is at work, but she replies that she doesn't know and thought maybe he was up to something. Esteban then doubtfully replies, and also asks if her mother knows something about her father, but Zoe confidently replies that she doesn't think so. The scene goes back to Brenda and Alma, who are enjoying themselves at the nightclub. Brenda seems to have fun dancing away the night. Meanwhile, Alma can be seen trying to get some wine from the bar, but goes unnoticed by the bartenders every time in the crowd. From a distance, Dario seems to notice Alma being failed at getting some wine and comes closer to her. Not being able to get some drink, Alma leaves the bar, passing by Dario. Alma then sees Brenda enjoying herself, so she leaves her and goes a little further quiet place to smoke a cigarette. Dario, in the meantime, comes behind Alma with a bottle of white wine as she wanted, and says he was looking for her. Alma, not recognizing him, doesn't know what to say. He then adds that, even though he hates this kind of place, it was worth coming to only because of Alma. Alma laughs off this remark as a bad pickup line and introduces herself as Brenda. After the scene cuts, Leonardo and Edith are seen again in a suite where they are planning to stay till morning. Edith tells him that the buffet in that suite is amazing and asks whether he prefers this or room service. Leonardo instead asks her to help him stop the running shower. Edith tries to help him but gets her thin shirt wet, which makes it see-through, and both of them start to suggestively look at each other. The scene again changes to Alma and Dario as they are talking, and Alma tells him that she is a real estate agent. Dario doesn't buy this and says that she doesn't look like a real estate agent, but rather a mystery to him. In the middle of their conversation, Brenda comes to take away Alma and sees Dario. She tells him that she seems to know him from somewhere, but he denies this. Brenda then introduces herself as Brenda, which exposes Alma as using fake names for Dario. Brenda then leaves her house keys to Alma, as she has found herself a man she wants to spend the night with. She again nudges Alma to enjoy herself with Dario. Alma bids Brenda farewell and faces Dario, who is questioning her about what he should call her now. Instead of answering this, Alma says even though she planned to go out and enjoy casual hookups, she is not good with these things. Dario denies this statement that he thinks she is doing perfectly. Meanwhile, Esteban and Zoe are eating at a street vendor when Esteban points at a couple who are passing by. He briefs that they had been flirting for some months, and today, after drinking a while, he has managed to convince her, even though she is a married woman. Zoe questions her uncle's info and says that married women don't cheat this late at night. But he states that the woman was frowning because she was thinking about what she would tell her husband after going home tonight. Zoe tells Esteban to cut it, and instead states that she doesn't understand how a professional criminologist like him ends up becoming a PI who investigates cheating couples. She also asks how he hurt his legs. Esteban doesn't seem interested in replying, but rather pays the vendor to end the conversation. Alma and Dario are seen again enjoying themselves to music, when Dario asks Alma whether she would tell him more about herself. They almost share a kiss when Alma pushes him away, saying that she won't be able to do this. Alma goes to get her car back from the garage, but can't seem to find her keys when Dario arrives there with her keys and tells her to at least let him drive her home. Even though she tries to reject the proposal, Dario tells her that she also knows that he is getting into him. After going home, they share a steamy, passionate kiss, which then turns into them being physically intimate in bed. After done being intimate with each other, Alma leaves the bed, wraps a robe around her, and tells Dario that it's better for him to leave now. Dario then gets sad about this and asks if they will meet again in the future. Alma replies negatively and says it was just a casual hookup. In the morning, Brenda comes back home and tells Alma about how horrible last night was for her. She further adds that the man she was with suddenly fainted while they were in bathtubs, and she had to take him to the hospital. Brenda also states that it was embarrassing because that man's mother was her age and she met them. Then Brenda notices fallen dishes from the table and jokes about how crazy Alma was with Dario last night. But she again tells Alma that she seems to know him from somewhere. Morning comes again, and Alma leaves Brenda's house promising her that they will go on a trip together when they are both on vacation next time. Alma is then seen driving to her home. From driving to reaching her home, she continuously remembers her time spent with Dario and her husband's suspicious behavior. In the living room, Leonardo and Esteban are playing games and discussing if Leonardo will get caught by Alma. Alma enters the house and asks about what they have been doing, and they can't seem to say the same thing as they were lying. Alma then leaves to prepare for her class. Leonardo is then seen as calling someone in a hurry, while Alma goes to greet Zoe. Zoe sees Alma, welcomes her, and shows her an article about a woman dying in an accident. She also adds that she wants to go to the morgue with Esteban. After ending the conversation, Alma then goes to her room to work on her class, which is about gender-based violence against women. While her class-related article is being narrated in the background, the scene changes to Brenda getting in the shower. Before she can get in, someone is seen knocking at her door. The scene changes to Alma getting intimate with Dario in the pool, when Leonardo comes and shoots Dario in the pool. Suddenly, Alma wakes up and this turns out to be a nightmare. Alma gets up and finds Leonardo taking a shower and asks him when he came last night. He replies that it was late and he didn't want to wake her up. Then a message comes in Leonardo's phone from her assistant, which Alma tries to read to him, but he gets protective and tells her that he will do it. The scene turns to Alma being in her class seminar, talking about how outbreaks of violence are happening against women throughout the country by their loved ones. While in the background, Alma's class lecture is continuing, Brenda is seen dead in the tub in a pool of her blood. The episode ends with the scene going back to the classroom, when Dario is seen entering the classroom, locking eyes with Alma, and taking a seat. To watch more explanations of these kinds of series, click on the videos on your screen, and don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.